Is the new MacBook Pro with the M5 Pro actually a big upgrade over the M3 Pro, or is it just another small step? Today I'm putting my old MacBook Pro up against my new one to find out. This isn't anything overly technical. I just wanted to compare them in a simple, real-world way and see how much difference there actually is. So I ran three main tests. First, I tested the CPU performance using Geekbench. I started both machines at almost the same time and let them run side by side so you can see how they behave under load. Then I moved on to the GPU test, again using Geekbench to get a feel for how they handle more demanding graphics related tasks. And finally, I tested the SSD speed using Blackmagic Disk Speed Test, which shows how quickly each machine can read and write data, something that really matters for things like video editing and working with large files. I also made sure both machines were in similar conditions, plugged in, running the same tests, and without anything extra in the background, just to keep things as fair and consistent as possible. These aren't just random tests either. They translate directly into real-world use, like how smooth editing feels, how quickly apps open, and how well the system handles multiple tasks at once. Now, I didn't tweak anything or try to optimize one machine over the other. Both are just running as they normally would, which makes this a fair comparison of what you can expect day to day. And it's important to say, the M3 Pro is not a slow machine at all. It's still very capable, and for most people, it's more than enough for everyday work and even heavier tasks. But with the newer M5 Pro, the question is, how much further has Apple actually pushed performance? So I ran everything side by side, kept it simple, and let the tests speak for themselves. Watch closely and you'll get a clear idea of how these two compare and whether the newer model really feels like a meaningful upgrade. At the same time, benchmarks don't tell the whole story. Things like battery life, thermals, and overall responsiveness also matter. But this gives a solid baseline for raw performance. So depending on what you use your Mac for, this kind of difference could either be something you really notice or something that doesn't matter as much. So overall, it's interesting to see how much things have moved forward from one generation to the next. For me, it's less about one being good or bad and more about understanding what you actually gain when you upgrade. If you're currently using something like the M3 Pro, you'll probably recognize a lot of what you're seeing here. It's still a very capable machine, but at the same time, it's clear that the newer model is pushing things further. I'm curious what you think. Is this the kind of upgrade you'd actually notice in day-to-day use, or would you stick with what you've got? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more simple, real-world comparisons like this, feel free to subscribe.